Welcome to European Moldova. Here I cross the park, the German embassy, and here I'm going to the government quarters again. And I want to talk about the construction industry. Because my visible impression on this week of visit here to Moldova, it's my fourth time I'm here now in Moldova. I was twice during my time in Ukraine in 2018, and I was once during EDS times in 98, the first time. And I was very disappointed 2018. There was not a lot of progress. I made the joke, thanks Moldova, that you didn't change anything in the last 20 years from 98 to 2018. But in the last 4 years, I see there was significant changes. And I know the international donor community doesn't like the construction sector too much, but it's a mistake. The construction sector is a sign of middle class mobility, investment capacity, banking sector, cadastre reliability, rule of law. All this, as many of you who have seen my podcast, I always say the construction sector is the prime benchmark for the development of the country. Because if the country works, the construction sector works. If the construction sector works, then of course the country works. Why? Because it's each of these apartments here, each of these small apartments is a very, is a very powerful investment for one family. One family invests in one apartment. It costs like 1,000 euro roughly, 100 square meter for a family. Then that means that's a lifelong income and savings for the middle class, upper middle class families. And they are then able to invest in that, and that's the main savings. That's huge. Of course, some of the richer people, they have villas for millions also here. But the normal middle class, and that should be the broad basis of a society, that's the lifelong capacity to earn, to invest, to save, and to live. And that's good. And when you see a country, for example, this is what was in the past. This is the housing stock of the past, and then there is the housing stock of the future. And that's a huge difference. And in order to make that happen, you have to formalize the construction industry. You have to have a working cadastre system. You have to have some form of digital kind of, more or less, hopefully, construction permitting system. That's all what I recommend. I was fighting already 5 years ago that all these wonderful things that GIZ is doing in Southeastern Europe with digitalization under the business-friendly environment, BFC certification, is then also done for here Moldova and for Ukraine. But wiser heads have excluded that. In the wisdom of the European Union and of Germany, they have decided to treat the ex-Soviet Union differently, because they made this called enlargement embargo for the Eastern European ex-Soviet Union states in order to appease Russia, and we got the war for that. Merkel led us in this war, let's never forget it. She is directly responsible, and also the SPD, they can share this infamous achievement. But that's their policy of appeasement. Here, of course, you see also there is significant need for the public transport. I decided to walk, but when you see the overcrowded buses, I'm sure the very generous EBRD loan would be very good for this country to buy some new buses. Hello EBRD, hello, 50 million is not enough. Here we are in Stadium Dynamo, very interesting. I have to cross here somehow, and to survive, the cars are waiting for me. I'm running. So that's a different part here of the city. I'm getting acquainted this morning. That's one of the inherited communist stadiums. There is of course Moldovan flag, and here you see the old housing stock, the new housing stock. But what I want to talk is now about no rant against Merkel and the SPD and all these appeasers. You can see that on other videos. Now I would like to say the last 4 years, significant progress. It's not so far as Macedonia, Albania, Montenegro, no doubt. We rejected NATO for them, they also did it. Our diplomats who are paid by our taxpayer money come here and tell them not to join our institutions. you can just wonder what kind of level of diplomats we have, yeah? I would fire all of them, be sure about it, because I'm absolutely at the end of my patience for diplomats from the EU and NATO recommending other countries in Europe not to join because it's too difficult or too expensive or too complicated or because it doesn't fit their appeasement agenda. Okay, that's the old housing stock. You can see that it's very typical here for this region. And then you see obviously a lot of new developments here, not in the sporting area here, but that's exactly how it was in Ukraine. That's what we call the miracle of freedom, famous Berisha statement. But that's exactly, or you can devote it to more prominent American heroes. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Here, the next one. Because of course that's for the elite, the construction company owners. They understand that's big business for them. They make a lot of money. And then some international diplomats with no idea about economics say, oh no, that's only money laundering and oligarchia. And so, no, it's the dream of the middle class. You need a working construction sector. You need a working administration behind it to have the permitting, to have also the supervision, to have also the registration. You need a working financial sector. This is often bought with loans. You need a working financial sector. If the construction sector as the sister of the financial sector works, then the whole society can catch up. And this is what Putin wants to destroy. He wants to destroy this miracle of freedom, the working sector, the working financial and construction and property sector. And then, because why? Because it leads not to an oligarchization, but to a middle class development. Yeah? And that's of course what we all want. That's what we should have. A working middle class. Now I'm somewhere here. You see more government buildings, I don't know. And there's also some other buildings. I'm getting acquainted to everything over time. Here in Moldova, I'm crossing carefully, walking through the old housing stock in the street Bucharesti. That's of course, you know, the Moldovans are very similar to the Kosovo people, by the way, because they all have this feeling that they were betrayed by history not to be able to join Romania, and they are somehow forced to their own country, which is so complicated because of the partly division and what is now partly Ukraine in Bukovina and in the south at the Bessarabia, and of course the Transnistrian issue. And so it's very similar, and I had many interesting debates, and I will also continue to talk about that. But now about the construction sector. You see, this is really very important. Then you have working hotels, you have working infrastructure, and then you have the whole society suddenly is blossoming. And in just 4 years, this country, it is not fully under Western management, but at least, you know, also there's now this very, very pro-Western party of Maidu, the PAS, and before was this oligarch party, the Democrats. But they have also done something, at least technocratically, and you see the difference. 4 years, from 2018, and they were pandemic years. But if you do the technical right thing, reforming, cadastre, low taxes, 12% taxation, of course they have not done the currency stability, and I didn't have the feeling that they want to do that. That was a bit too wild for them. Oh no, our lei, our good lei. They were all very defensive these days when I wanted to introduce the euro, and they looked at me as if I'm completely strange man who wants to take their poor currency. That's, by the way, very beautiful. It's also an international project, and they're doing a reconstruction of this beautiful ancient town. That's very good. Bravo, Moldavia. I somehow, it was very funny yesterday, I had this nice experience because 30 years ago, 96, it's, let's say 25 years ago, I was a student representative, and I went to Romania to promote the idea of EU and NATO membership. I remember my friends in Austria telling me, don't go, don't go. And I learned all these Romanian sentences like, Te iubesc România, nebunia. I love you, Romania. And yesterday at the table I tried it, and it's still working. But now I have to change, of course, to Moldova. But I feel a bit like in a circle of my own life, when I'm now in the mid-50s running again because of the completely utter failure of European elite. I have to run here to Ukraine and Moldova and to preach the gospel of European Union, and as if there wouldn't be clarity on that one already. But okay, so I do it and I promote the EU membership of this beautiful country, and we will overcome all technical complications. Very good, very good. Here the European flag is flying high. That's good. I'm happy here. Best regards, more to come from Paxa Rupiana. Bye.